Good evening. Welcome home. It's good to be with you tonight. Today is April 26th, 2023, and welcome home to First Christian Church of Decatur. I'm James Brewer Calvert. My pronouns are he, his, and him, and it's a delight to be with you. I've missed you. It's been a few weeks since we've done a 601 together. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments and to participate. This is a communal experience of sharing, of learning, growing together, and of being in community together. So feel free to participate. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Um, I'm in post-Easter recovery, as I'm sure many of us are. We had an amazing Lent and then Holy Week from Palm Sunday through Maundy, Thursday through Good Friday to Easter Sunday. And after worship on Easter, I told people I was totally filled up and totally poured out. I was a puddle on the floor and I was filled to overflowing. It was an amazing experience. Went home and slept for 36 hours and then got up on Tuesday and got going. So here we are. So it's good to be back with you and welcome home. Delighted. I'm going to do a couple of announcements and then a meditation on rebuilding our faith in the church, one tenet at a time. First, the announcements. We have some staff changes at First Christian Church of Decatur. We're thrilled and pleased with the hard work of Lee Reynolds, our church administrator. She started last August and has done a great job. Just a wonderful, graceful, meaningful work and so well. She's asked to let go of her administrative responsibilities, but to continue in hospitality as a volunteer. So she will be at the church Monday, Wednesday, Friday, welcoming people and being present and a hospitable host, as she is all the time. Thank you, Lee, for your service. We're grateful for you. And we received your resignation with regret and with prayer. The Lord has blessed us with a transition. The Reverend Daniel Brower, our associate pastor, who has been a 10-hour-a-week staff person, will now take on the responsibilities of being the church administrator as well. So she will be down the hall in a more quiet space doing administrative work as well as pastoral work. So she's going from 10 hours a week to 30 hours a week. And we are so pleased. When asked about this, she said, I'm all in, which is our theme for the year. We're all in. We're invested. We're involved. We're incorporated with one another. And so for Daniel Brower, thank you so much. It's a joy to work with you as a colleague, and it's a joy to be a part of this team together. So that went through our personnel and executive team, as well as our eldership and our stewardship ministry. Everybody's on board. It's a gift. Okay, so that's the first announcement. And the second is that 3 weeks from now, on May 20th, Saturday, May 20th, we'll be hosting a Junk in the Trunk. So that's where you come and sell whatever junk you have in your house to sell to someone else, and on the church parking lot. There's lots of details available at the church, so contact us if you're interested in selling items or if you want to volunteer and help us with providing food and coffee and hospitality and just being a welcoming spirit, because that's who we are. So that's on Saturday, May 20th. And then on Sunday, May 21, we will have our graduation Sunday, which means that we're going to honor and recognize all those who graduate, whether it's middle school or high school or college or doctoral degrees or a certificate. If you or a friend or a family member is graduating this spring or graduated last December or so, is going to graduate, we recognize. So let us know. We want the name, the degree, the school. If you've got a picture, that'd be fantastic. Let us know by May 15th. That's our deadline. Okay, meditation. So a couple weeks ago, I preached on rebuilding our faith one tenet at a time. And the thinking is that for many of us, there have been experiences in our lives where we've lost our faith, where it's evaporated, where it's blown away, or when it's been crushed, or we've been so disappointed or in despair or in anger, um, feeling cut off from God, feeling cut off from God's church, God's people, that we've just stopped having a sense of faith. It could be happen from grief or loss or anger, betrayal, all kinds of things come in between us, our health, our wealth, our life situations. So there's lots of reasons we may lose our faith. And what I preached on was that we can rebuild our faith one tenet at a time, Tenet. And that's a basis of a religious or philosophical belief or understanding. So the tenets are the bricks of our foundation. Um, when you walk away from the graveside, when you get up in the morning and you're just trying to find your way, when you're experiencing that dark night of the soul, and you need to rebuild your faith, know a couple of things. One, that God is walking with you at your pace. If you're stuck, God's right there, standing by you, with you all the time, within and without. If you're moving slowly, God's moving slowly too. If you're running, catch up to me, God. I'm running. I'm moving. I'm so busy. I got so much going on. God is right there with you. So God's with you at your pace, and that's a blessing. Um, we rebuild our faith. Maybe a passage of scripture that means something to us, or a verse of a hymn that means something to us, a tune, a poem, the smile of a child. We take these moments and we start to craft them together, and our faith is building and is different than it was before, but that's not a bad thing because we grow, we evolve, we change. So we rebuild our faith one tenet at a time. Well, after that worship service, um, a amazing, delightful person in the congregation came up to me afterward and said, Pastor James, we can also rebuild our faith in the church one tenet at a time. That's pretty good because my sermon was a very personal, spiritual sermon. It was on your relationship with God. And this person came up and reminded me that we have a communal relationship as well. And sometimes those communal relationships get broken, they get damaged, they get shattered. They're in pieces on the ground, and we've lost trust or faith or a sense of engagement with Christ's church. And as I'm going to go through the reasons in a minute, and we need to rebuild that connection, that relationship, and we do it one tenet at a time. So I'll tell you what, I made a list, and this list only took me 5 minutes. It's going to take 5 minutes to read it, but man, it came like this. So here's a list of some of the reasons people leave churches. Okay? They've been connected and the connection is cut off. They leave the church. So here's my list in no particular order. Anyone's not any better than the others. And I want you to add to this list, make a comment, share what your thoughts are, because I'm not saying this is a definitive list. This is one that came like this. Here we go. People leave the church because of other distractions, because they're going in another direction, because they have differences with the congregation or with God or with whether it's theology or Bible or something's going on. They have differences and they are not reconciled. People leave the church because they get disappointed. They get disappointed in church leaders. They get disappointed in church pastors. They get disappointed in the choices and the decisions that churches make. All kinds of reasons we get disappointed. People leave the church because they're angry at God. People leave the church because they're angry at God's people. People leave the church because they get burned out. People leave the church because they've lost that spark within. It's no longer a glow. People leave the church because they bought a boat or they bought a condo on a lake house, or they got an RV. People leave the church because they or their children are playing sports on Sunday mornings and they don't want to go to church on Sunday morning. They can't because they're doing other things. People leave the church because they want to take a walk in the woods and they experience God in nature. People leave the church because they'd rather read the Sunday paper and drink coffee at home than get up and go to church. People leave the church because their personal expectations are not being met. People leave the church because of trauma. They have deep pain. They've been hurt by the church. They've been hurt in the community, and the church is not helping them to cope with their trauma. People leave the church because they no longer want to be used, abused, or misused by the church. And if you have been, we are sorry. People leave the church because the church is not involved or outspoken enough or engaged in social justice issues of the day. People leave the church because the church is involved with social justice and concerns and issues of the day, and they think that that is being political. People leave the church because it's too silent. It's not speaking out. And people leave the church because it is. People leave the church because they work all week and want Sunday for family time or me time or recovery time. And they don't see the church as a place for family or me or recovery. You can add to this list. I'm sure there's more reasons. I didn't think of everything. But if you have any other thoughts of why people are no longer engaged who once were, feel free to add. And I'm going to point out something that we don't talk about very much, but is a fact that the Church of Jesus Christ in the United States of America has been in decline since 1960. It's not been since the 90s or the 2000s. It's not because of last year. We've been in decline since 1960. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's no quick fix. There's no program. There's no project. There's no sermon. There's no prayer. It's going to change all that. It goes deeper. Okay? All right. So now, rebuilding our faith in the church, one tenet at a time. This is for those of us who have left or are thinking about leaving or wonder what the possibility is on leaving Christ Church. Okay? We're being honest here. We're being straight up. And I think the place to start is to the congregation. So now I'm going to talk to the church about those who are not in the church or who are thinking they might want to rebuild their faith in the church but aren't quite sure. So this is to the congregation. Okay? Here we go. Number one, be patient. Walk at the pace of those in our community who are thinking about whether or not they want to be a part of the church. Don't run at your pace. Don't move at your pace. Move at their pace. Just as God is moving at their pace and your pace, move at theirs. Be patient. Number two, be kind. Be kind because you do not know the burdens people bear. And number three, focus on relationship building. Share your story. Listen to someone else's story. Just start there. Don't ask someone if they've been saved. Please don't. Don't ask them what their favorite scriptures are. Don't ask them if they got a gold star in Sunday school. Just listen to their story and share your story. Why are you involved and engaged in Christ Church? What does it mean to you? Okay? Remember that what we are offering is not about God. We're offering God. It's not about community. We're offering community, which means listening and sharing. Okay, that's to the congregation. And now this is to those who are thinking about rebuilding your faith in the church. Okay. Number one, faith is about trust. Trust has been broken. In the business world, they say it only takes a second to lose trust. And that is absolutely right. If you walk into a fast food restaurant and it's disgusting, or the staff is fighting, I've been there, or if the food is not prepared right, or they get your order wrong, you're not going back because there's another one right next door. You know, there's 4 Dunkin' Donuts around where I live. There's one that I think is gross. I'm not going back there, but I'll go to the others. Okay. So trust can be lost in 1 second. The church is different. We're not a business. The church practices something called faith and forgiveness. We practice reconciliation. We practice rebuilding and reforming and renewal of relationships. So, for those of you who are rebuilding or want to rebuild your relationship with the church, recognize that faith and trust that were broken can be repaired. They can be fixed. They can be renewed. So be patient with the church as well. Number two, trust in other people takes time to rebuild. So please don't expect that because you walk into a church one day, that your faith and trust in the church is going to be rebuilt in that one day. It's going to take some time. As long as you've been away, it's going to take that much time to rebuild. That's the way of the world. So be patient. And you might be surprised. This is the best part. You might be surprised what God has in store for you. You might discover, wow, kind of like this. This is pretty cool. These are nice people who care about me. They want to hear my story. They want to share their stories. And maybe I can do this. So be open to being surprised. And last but not least, it takes 3 months to build a habit or to lose a habit. If you want to quit smoking, it's going to take at least 3 months. If you want to lose anything that you've been doing and you want to stop doing that, it'll take about 3 months. It's the same with building a new habit. If you want to start something new, it takes about 3 months, 90 days of constant practice. So if you want to rebuild a relationship with Christ Church, it's going to take some time to rebuild that habit. So again, patience, time, being surprised, being trustworthy, and see what happens. See what happens. Our congregation is open and affirming. We're anti-racist. We're pro-reconciling. We are a place of healing and hope. My observation is that people who come to First Christian Church of Decatur, whether they're there for 1 day or 100 years, when they leave, they're healthier and more healed than they were when they came in. That's been my observation. I'm going to end with this. On Sunday, we had somebody visiting, and afterward, I was introducing this person to other members of the congregation. And I said to the church members, I said, this person has been dipping their toe in the lake of the church to check out the temperature. And this person said to our church members, well, actually, I'm in up to my knees. And inside, I did my Snoopy happy dance because that's part of rebuilding. We dip our toe, then it's up to our ankle, then it's up to our knees, and it's one step at a time. Very gentle, very methodical, but ongoing. So Snoopy happy dance, yay! I'm walking with you at your pace. My congregation will walk with you at your pace as you rebuild your faith in God and your faith in the church, and maybe even your faith in yourself, one tenet at a time. May God's blessings and peace be with you. Take care. Hope to see you Sunday morning at 10:25 for worship. Good night.